from Greater Sandton and beyond. Get ready for the Sandton Times Hour
with your host,
Alexander.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond, welcome to the Sandton Times Hour, also available on all leading digital audio platforms. It's edition 160. It's week 23 of 2024. And if you'd like to get in touch, you can always do so with your questions, your comments, your feedback, your input. It's always good to hear from you. You can email editor@sandtontimes.co.za or connect on social media @Sandton Times. And of course, hop onto the website, www.sandtontimes.co.za. And a very special welcome to you if you're listening for the first time, and also if you're tuning in every week. And I see our digital audio numbers rising as the show expands onto multiple different platforms. But you're all welcome, new and old, to the Sandton Times Hour Nation, across Johannesburg and Pretoria, across South Africa, and of course anywhere and everywhere else in the world, online and on air. Wherever you are, I'm happy to report that all is well in Sandton land so far. And Vincenzo behind the mixing desk once more, my left-hand man. And yeah, gee, what a week it has been. I caught that weird flu that's going around. I don't know, I've had so many people I've been chatting to who've been down with a cold or in bed, and it's just taken extremely long to shake this. And it seems to be doing the rounds, so just, wash your hands extra or try and avoid large crowds or whatever it is that we did to avoid all kinds of other bugs. But I'm certainly wrapped up in a jersey, a jacket. I've got some lemon honey tea in one hand, and I'm going to do my best to get through the next hour with you, because I wouldn't miss it for the world. This is my weekly catch up with you, and thoroughly enjoy doing this. And it's important that we touch base, get the week going on the right note with the right energy. And I'd say I hope my voice and system holds up for the next hour or so. Well, hasn't it been a week that feels like a year? Wow. An election week like no other. And I don't know if you've been following it minute by minute. Some people are really into it, like me. I enjoy watching this wall-to-wall coverage, as they say. And other people have just been watching it sort of on the sidelines. But it is such a deciding element of what our life is going to be like in the next 5 years. It's almost hard to look away. But I had a chance to vote at the Sandton Library there on Nelson Mandela Square. It's almost a very symbolic sort of election station. Then I got there quite early, and it was already so busy that early. I mean, last time was, it was around about the lockdown/pandemic time. And it wasn't as busy, but it was certainly busy at the Sandton Library. But managed to get in and out in 90 minutes, which in hindsight seemed like a very fast time compared to a lot of other people who spent hours in queues. The presiding officer there at the Sandton Library, which in itself is a fantastic place. If you haven't been to the Sandton Library, please do yourself a favor. And if you are paying your rates and taxes in Johannesburg, you can get a library card for free. Go there, get the details, and you can take out some of the latest books for 2 or 3 weeks. I've spent quite a bit of time there of late with some of my studies. And it is really just one of those city assets that we do not use enough. And I think it needs to be promoted. So that's my little 2 cents worth on the Sandton Library. It was good to participate in this very critical process as we move into a very different South Africa, I think, over the next couple of years. And there's still so much to come in the next few weeks. But let me just put your mind at ease that we're going to take a bit of a breather from the election this week to catch up on a whole bunch of other things whilst all of this unfolds. And I'm sure we'll check in on what's next for South Africa in the coming weeks. So that said, let's take a look at what we've got on the menu this week. Joining me in just a bit are 2 comedians who need very little introduction, but they are bringing a brand new show to Sandton, and it's always good to chat to them, and I'm really looking forward to that. Then I catch up with an entrepreneur who decided to get out on the streets and provide the morning traffic in Sandton with a hot cup of coffee, and stay tuned for his story. And finally, I share some highlights from the chats I had at a major trading expo, which happened in Sandton just the other day. So stay listening, all of this and more in the next hour.
Show some love.
subscribe, share
Leave a review and rating for the Sandton Times Hour.
on your favorite podcast app now.
The best of talk and music in 1 hour. This is the Sandton Times Hour.
And it's my pleasure to welcome to the Sandton Times Hour Jason Goliath and Nicholas Goliath. They're bringing a brand new show to the theatre on the square, on Nelson Mandela Square. It's called The Happiness Economy. And Jason and Nicholas, last time you guys were on the show, you almost became a promo after the fabulous things you said about this show. So welcome back to the Sandton Times Hour.
I mean, it's always lovely to be back in Sandton, even virtually. Even virtual Sandton is better than wherever you are right now. Virtual Sandton.
Listen, how did the voting go before we forget?
No, I'm not complaining. It was 60 minutes for me. I met some wonderful South Africans. We laughed a little bit, got a little bit of sunburn. Otherwise, a quick, easy process. And it was great to see like a whole range of ages there out voting. So I was happy.
Jason?
No complaints, Jason.
I also have, I almost have no complaints. Firstly, 30 minutes. Unbelievable. I voted at Northcliffe Primary, 30 minutes. From leaving the car to back in the car, 30 minutes. The only complaint I have is about 15 minutes into my queuing experience. There was like a little family, parents and a teenage or voting age child. Then out of nowhere, two other adults just arrive and don't acknowledge us in the queue. They just greet the people in front of us, Mora. And then nobody looked back to say, sorry, do you mind if we jump the queue? Then you realize it's Ubuntu. You can't fight with somebody in a voting queue. We are here, you know what I mean? So That's my only complaint. Those people who cut the queue, you know yourselves. You are part of the problem.
Reflect.
Anyway,
I actually joked with one of the officials to ask, like, what's the going rate to jump the queue? Like, how much do we have to pay? Then he was like, hey, you're going to get me into trouble.
we are
Nicholas.
voting for
No, I'm
new South
joking.
Africa.
Yeah, Nicholas, you must leave those things behind.
Yeah.
New country.
No.
country.
It didn't happen. I couldn't get it. So change is happening already, guys.
Guys, talking about the country and the economy, tell us about this new show you got coming, The Happiness Economy. How did you come up with this concept for the show, and what inspired you to create this?
The concept kind of came about during COVID, weirdly, where Nick and I had lots of time, as did all comedians in the world, had lots of free time to ponder and think about life. And for me, I'll be brutally honest. The first thing that hit me was the fact that I don't think I appreciated audiences enough. I'm not going to say I didn't appreciate them, but all our audience has been taken away during that time. Helped me realize that I didn't actually appreciate how blessed we were that people would get babysitters, leave their houses, get dressed up, buy a ticket, travel to Sandton to come and watch a show. And when I say I didn't appreciate them enough, it's because I felt like, yes, I made people laugh, but what did I say? You know what I mean? What did I actually say? So if you have a bunch of people listening to you, what do you actually say? And it got Nick and I speaking about the fact that, we all stressed about our other economies. People speak about their debit order stresses every single day. Mental health has come to the top of so many conversations lately in terms of, just at least shedding some spotlight, some focus. And I think fixing a lot of miseducation and doing a lot of unlearning when it comes to mental health and mental wellness. And then we just realized that, we are on a journey, and that journey is the cliched pursuit of happiness. And how would we kind of share our findings of that journey with audiences and allow them to engage with us? So we started a podcast called The Happiness Economy, which is just us interviewing people who we perceive to be happy or have some sort of happiness, and asking those people to share what the secrets to their journey was. We then are taking it now a step further with the Happiness Economy Comedy Tour, which is Nicholas Goliath and Jason Goliath, as you've always seen them doing their hardest, best stand-up comedy, trying to make you laugh as ugly as we possibly can. But at the same time, sharing some of the insights of, our journey and what we believe the kind of ingredients would be to if there was a formula to live your happiest possible life, what would that formula be? And if we speak to enough people, can we share enough of that formula so that enough people can kind of not plug and play, but at least be in a situation where they're willing to investigate what their happiness means? So it's a brutal comedy show with a purpose of being happy, but it's a new animal. It's motivational comedy.
So, I mean, without this becoming too academic, but
yes,
kind of what you do is, people who come to the show are looking to laugh, are looking to feel better, and are looking to feel happy. Yet it is
Yes.
a temporary solution because the happiness really needs to come from inside yourself. You need to bring your own joy versus just getting a dose of it, which lasts for an hour or two, and then afterwards you back to wherever you were before.
You've got to understand what your own joy is first, because most of us don't even understand where our own joy comes from. Because we look at social media, we get our information from the world, from our social circles, our friends, our family, influence the things that we believe then make us happy. So I think the starting point is to first understand if those are actually the things that make you happy, or is it something else that you need to search for and find before you can then continue with your happiness journey.
I also think that that's a fair comment. I think that, my criticism of most motivational things that I've watched is I call it I'm going to call it the Red Bull effect, because I was going to say the energy drink effect, but they are during my debit order, so let me say it properly. And what happens is you go to watch a show and you're filled with inspiration and you leave the show feeling like you can take over the world. And over the next 2-3 days, all of that excitement kind of fizzles out and you just revert back to standard old school habits.
Yeah.
But what if we could move that needle just a little bit? And instead of just sharing with you inspirational stories, share with you some of the tools that you could apply, some of the tools that we've applied, some of the tools that people we've engaged with have applied. And do that during a comedy set instead of during a presentation.
If you've been listening, I'm in conversation with Nicholas and Jason Goliath, chatting about their new show, The Happiness Economy, which is coming to the Theatre on the Square in Sandton. We're going to take this conversation further just after a quick break. I'm going to have a quick sip of tea to soothe my throat, and we'll chat right after this.
You're listening to the Sandton Times Hour.
So, Jason, Nicholas, we're talking about your show, The Happiness Economy, which is coming to the Theatre on the Square, on Nelson Mandela Square. And you've mentioned how this is a combination of entertainment, humor, but also motivation. How do you guys balance that fine line between getting into sort of quite deeper and heavier topics whilst also keeping people entertained and having a laugh and kind of people coming for what they know you for, which is, a really great evening out and a good laugh?
That's a great question. I think that, it's simply answered with you're able to balance it, thank goodness, with experience. So because we are stand-up comedians at our core, whenever we're on stage, whether it be during a comedy set or whether it's emceeing an award ceremony, being funny is part of our DNA because the audiences laughing is our drug. That's the thing that kind of does it for us. So experience allows you to know how they're supposed to sound. Balancing it literally comes from that. So you'll have the opportunity to have these intense, quiet moments with people hanging on every word, kind of feeding on the story. But there's always the laugh timer running in the back of your mind. So what if we were able to present you with the same kind of motivational feeling that you used to, a couple of tools that you can actually apply and start, making your journey, whatever your journey is, but also give you the beats and the rhythm of the comedy shows that you've been watching for years. And that becomes the trick. So when we're crafting the show, if you could picture a virtual laugh clock behind you, and if you go 30 seconds without a laugh, the alarm bells start kind of ringing and going off. So it all kind of happens before, but when you mix that with the experience, every delivery feels like it's being curated for the people in that room, which is a beautiful thing as an entertainer, and I think audiences agree as well.
Nicholas, do you feel like you guys often do like a bit of a temperature check, especially for a show like this with the audience? Because every audience is different and you're not getting the same crowd every night.
Definitely. You have to do a temperature check with every single audience. And especially with the time that we're in, you never know what the temperature is, and it can change mid-show. Like Jason says, with experience, we've learned to feel when the temperature changes and be able to adjust the temperature of the room so that people understand we're never out there to offend. We're always there to entertain. And as much as we're talking about the deep, heavy topics, it's always got to come with the laughter. And I think we just believe that the laughter makes it easier for the message to be taken in. It doesn't feel like somebody's speaking at you and trying to tell you how to live your life. All we're doing is telling you what we've done, what we found, our tools, And while you're laughing and listening to the stories, I feel like it's the type of thing that you may not even realize in the theater. So when you're in the car on your way home with your partner, with your friends, and you're having a conversation and you go, they said that and it actually makes sense. I'm going to try that. I want to see if that works.
Is this also an evolution to sort of maybe bring more meaning to the work that you do as well? That it's not just being the guy that makes me laugh and, sort of pie in the face kind of comedy. It's kind of also saying that, I'm funny, but people are also walking away having had a better evening or making a better decision for their life. Is this also part of sort of an evolution in your comedy?
I'll give you the sentence in my mind. There was a physical change after probably 8 to 10 years of stand-up. In the beginning, when you're on a lineup show, your objective weirdly subconsciously becomes getting the biggest laugh. That's what it becomes. As a comedian, you're looking to get the biggest laughs of the night. That's what you want. And then all of a sudden there's this little shift with experience and wisdom, and you start realizing that it's actually not about the one that gets the biggest laugh. The one who wins, the comedian who wins, is the one that they're speaking about in the car on the way home. So it becomes less about making you laugh because I know I can do that. So that should be a given. If you come to any show, we're going to make you laugh. That's what we do. But now we want to make you feel and think. We are feeling and thinking, are the vegetables of the comedian world. And what we're doing is we're deep frying those vegetables in delicious funniness to confuse you into consuming all of them, which is possibly a thing that I should not do anymore.
Nicholas, I normally ask comedians and people who put on these shows, like, what do you hope your audiences will take away from this? I'd like to ask you, what would you like your audiences to bring to this show? Maybe mentally or in the way they frame their thinking.
Come with an open mind, whether you've been to a comedy show before or not, whether you understand or think you understand, what comedy is. Just come with an open mind. Don't come with an expectation of what you're going to receive. Come with an open mind and be prepared. Like Jason says, there will be laughter. There will be a little bit of motivation. There will be lots of entertainment. And just come and experience. I feel like so many people are stuck in our ways. We do things the way we do things because that's the way we do things and the way we've done things. And nobody can change us because we're so confident and we understand and we know. And there's nothing wrong with listening to somebody else's opinion and perhaps taking, I call it the nuggets of information. And somebody's giving you advice, like doing it from a place of love, not because they're trying to tell you how to live your life. Sometimes that's may come out as how it sounds, that they're telling you. But there's nuggets of information that you can use in your life. So you don't have to take everything from the show and go and apply it to your life. But there's something there for everybody. So come with an open mind and you may find something that can help you get closer to your happiness and just understand it a bit more, I think.
There's no answers. So like, this is it's a lifelong journey. You're not coming to a show where two guys are going to tell you how happy they are and how happy you could be. You're coming to a show where two guys are just on a journey and we're just sharing points of that journey with you. And in that experience, I think if you come with an open mind like you would to any other comedy show, if you're happy, come to share. If you're not happy, come to listen. Simple as that.
Well, there you have it. I've been chatting to Jason Goliath and Nicholas Goliath. Don't miss their show, The Happiness Economy, coming to the Theatre on the Square from the 18th to the 22nd of June, 2024. Tickets are at Web Tickets, but we'll also put up all the details on the Sandton Times website. And also go check out their podcast, The Happiness Economy. It's on YouTube as well. They've interviewed David O'Sullivan, Dan Corder. I saw an interview as well with Dr. Victor. Go have a look. It's a great watch. And guys, thank you so much for making the time to be on the Sandton Times Hour.
It's better to be in the Sandton Times Hour than anywhere else in the country. It's as simple as that.
You're listening to the Sandton Times Hour.
And as we get into the second half of the Sandton Times Hour, don't forget that if you caught something intriguing during the show, but you missed some of the details, well, don't worry, don't stress. We're going to put all the details up on the website. You can head over to sandtontimes.co.za and you can slap a www before that and explore the show notes that we put up every single week during the week. There's a breakdown of all the highlights and also, of course, further reading and links. And if you find something intriguing, that's where you need to go and have a look. Also, don't forget to connect with the Sandton Times on social media. You can connect on @Sandton Times. on whatever platform you're on. You pick your platform and you can engage. And also don't forget that you can connect as well by DMing, voice noting, messaging, posting, whatever it is that you feel like doing. You can do all of that as well. So joining me in a second is entrepreneur Harry Mohlala, who's brewed up a business called Coffee on Grayston. And it's been thriving through its remarkable community support. And if you take the Grayston Drive off-ramp here in Sandton, you might be well familiar with this particular coffee stop in traffic. But here to tell me a little bit more is the man himself, Harry Mohlala of Coffee on Grayston. Harry, it's great to have you on the Sandton Times Hour.
Thank you for the invite.
Harry, let's chat about this business. For those people unfamiliar with what you do, give us a quick overview of the service.
The idea is just to give a quick breakfast on the go, especially with the traffic going to Sandton. So the idea is just to take your mind off going to those expensive places where you can actually buy what I serve on the streets. We can get it at a cheaper price.
Okay.
So, I mean, with your 30 rands, you can get a proper breakfast. It's scones and a coffee. Yeah.
Okay, Harry, take me through this picture because I'm one of the fortunate souls that doesn't get stuck on Grayston Drive every morning. So I unfortunately have never experienced Coffee on Grayston. I might actually take a special drive around one morning just to be part of the community and to experience this. But have you got like a backpack? Have you got a trolley? How does this look? Paint me a picture as to what this looks like.
So as of now, because of Jacobs, I now have a backpack.
Okay.
But then at first it was just I started with the table on the side, and then it went to a trolley until now I got seen by people from Jacobs, and they decided to help me with the backpack.
Okay.
So now I have a backpack. So that's just a pod to go. Yeah.
So basically, I'm stuck in traffic. I can let down my window, and you will pull up next to my window, almost like a drive-through experience. And you can pour some coffee
Correct.
and get a scone ready, all for 30 Rand.
All for 30 rands in a space of in less than 20 seconds.
Look at that. You should be working for the Formula One teams at that speed. Harry, tell me, how did this all start? How did you even get to this point that you decided one day, I'm going to set up a little tafeltjie there on Grayston Drive and start dishing out coffee and scones?
I normally don't sleep during the day, right? And on times that I did, I had this recurring dream that came to me. It's like some sort of communication that was brought to me. It was just a clear picture of me selling on the side of the street, but it was not on Grayston Drive. It was by the Home Affairs. And it was a constant dream. And then I decided that I either chase this dream or sleep on the dream. And then I decided to chase the dream. Because I remember I was working for an indoor golf area, and I was a shift leader there. And then in December, I told them that I am leaving the job. I need to chase the dream that I have. And then when I went there, I just woke up on the 17th of January and decided just to go see what's what. Then I got there. I only had a flask. I didn't sell scones by then. I only had a flask and a few cups. And on that day, I sold only two cups of rooibos tea. I remember they were not even full because I didn't know how the robots were working, and I didn't even know what I was putting myself into. But then in the longer run, I got to fix my mistake. I still remember my first customers even today. They saw a potential in me because they said that they want to. They even said that they want to steal the idea. They want to place it somewhere else. And then, I remember when I went to them probably months later and said to them that they don't have to pay for that cup that I'm going to be saving them on the day because they were my first customers and I was rectifying my mistake.
Okay, well, that's interesting. And here we are. How many months later, you've now got the support from Jacobs Krönung. Or sorry, let me just pronounce that correctly because I always hear it pronounced incorrectly. It's actually Jacobs Krönung with the Verwöhn aroma. There's always some other person that they get to do these voiceovers, and they always pronounce these things in a very peculiar way. So now that we've sorted that part out, you've now got the support from Jacobs. And what does this mean in terms of your business? Does this mean you can sort of scale this up now? Are you going to have more people dishing out coffee and scones? Are you going to be taking up this customer that sounded a little bit dicey if they were going to steal your idea? Are you going to be distributing this to other intersections in Sandton?
So the idea is to do that. The idea is to have a few branches around Sandton. Like, it would be very ideal to go all the way to Grayston Drive, all the intersections by Grayston Drive, and put different people there. I mean, that will be creating employment as well, right? But then now with the bylaws, we sometimes have issues. But now, since I've had the backpack, I haven't had any issues from the police. But the only problem that I had was when I had a trolley, because they told me that the trolley is causing traffic, it will cause accidents and stuff. But then since I had the backpack from Jacobs, look, man, life has been a bit easier. It's quicker to even run the business as well.
So what were they doing with your trolley? Were they putting a wheel clamp on it, or did they confiscate it, or what did they do with it?
No, yeah, so they confiscated it, and they told me that I have to come fetch it by the traffic department in Melbourne. Fortunate enough, I had people that are there, and I spoke to them. They brought back my trolley, but I couldn't take it back to the streets because now I know that I was going to be causing too much noise about it. And then, fortunate enough, it was around a quieter season. It was December time, so business was not as hectic. And then that's when Jacobs also came on board, and they were able to assist with that backpack.
So tell me now, what kind of strategies or what kind of marketing did you do to try and get people enticed to buy from you, to support you on Grayston Drive?
Let me put it this way. I think with the experience that I've gained ever since I've started working, mostly it was in entertainment and customer service. So currently I'm doing social media marketing, but I'm not that good on social media. But customer service is my ultimate. What can I say? I excel in customer service. Like, I've worked retail, I've worked corporate, so word for mouth, I'm very good at that. I'm very good at customer service.
So tell me, how much coffee do you dish out on an average morning? I mean, how many scones do you sell? I mean, what are we talking about here in terms of volumes?
So I'll tell you something that most people get confused. The fact that when it's cold, I don't make money out of coffee because people are bringing it from their own homes.
Okay.
And then, so on a regular, between 20-25 cups in the morning, I get to do that. It depends on the month as well. Month end from the 25th to the 4th or the 5th of the new month, I don't make money as well because people are now eating out. They've got, all those good restaurants. They're doing proper takeaways now. They forgot about me for a moment. But then from the 7th, I know that's where I pick up.
Okay.
And then on scones, I sell between 80 and 120 packets in 3 hours.
Do you do something for the afternoon drive as well, or is this really exclusive to the morning traffic?
Currently, it's exclusive to the morning traffic.
Okay.
Because remember, I have to as well because I bake my own store.
And then tell me, is this exclusively a cash business, or have you also now started implementing some sort of other digital payment methods that people can pay you so you don't have to scramble for change and you don't have to try and walk around with notes?
We have that card machine. And then we also do EFTs. Some people don't carry money with them, find that their card, they'll tell you stories that card it's not working. But then because of the time limit by the robots, they have to have another way of payment. So they do send you alerts and stuff.
All right, that sounds very interesting. So if you are on Grayston Drive, if you take Grayston Drive regularly, please keep an eye out for Harry and coffee on Grayston. And please don't bring your own coffee from home. I mean, you can do it once a month, but don't do it all the time. Try and give Harry some support. He's now got the Favona Aroma going on Grayston Drive. And as he said, please don't come with your stories. He's heard them all before. Have some spare change. Keep a 5 Rand coin there in the car, or just a something to be able to pay for your coffee and scone in traffic. And Harry, I wish you good luck with your expansion plans, with your business. And I look forward to taking a drive past one of these mornings and coming to check out what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Alex.
Fantastic. Good to chat to you.
Thank you, Alex. I love your professionalism, and thank you for having me on.
You're listening to the Sandton Times Hour.
Well, I mentioned this a week or two ago, but I had the pleasure of moderating a panel discussion at the 2024 Finance Magnates Africa Summit at the Sandton Convention Centre, an event that was focused on online trading platforms, fintech payments, the crypto sector, and so much more in the finance space. And with quite a few local and international players in town, well, I decided to sit down with a few companies in the space, starting off with ATFX, which is based in Hong Kong. And I chatted to Joe Lee, chairman of ATFX, as well as Siju Daniel, who's the Chief Commercial Officer at ATFX. And I spoke to Joe Lee first and asked him how AI was playing its part in the trading space.
Well, it's a very good question. Technology can help us if we use it properly. If we can't manage it well, it may be risky for us. That's why not only to our clients, but as a broker, as a global financial institution, we need to manage it very well. And this is why we invest in quite heavily, millions of dollars or even tens of millions of dollars each year on our technology team, not only for our advanced trading tools that we help provide top-tier education and financial news to our client, but also for ourselves on our risk management, on our order automation of all the system, like we are onboarding clients automation on the KYC process, which client can open an account in a few minutes and start to fund and trade and pass all the KYC and AML check. Another side, on the trading journey, like we have AT Premier, which is AI-powered financial one-stop website. It's not only for instant financial news or information during the market 24 hours, but also they can have a view of the major financial institutions globally that what's their trading views on different currency as well as products. This is from client perspective that we invest a lot. In our side, internal risk management and automation for risk management tools, as well as the portfolio management, and even the global setup of connectivity, dedicated API as well. So we definitely realize it's a big opportunity as well as a challenge that we have. But I'm very confident because we have been very well prepared for the last couple of years, and which can ultimately benefit us as ATFX as a firm together with our clients.
What are you as ATFX seeing in Africa that makes you bullish about making these investments, putting all this effort into it? Is it the fact that we've got a very young population? Is there the opportunity that there is so much expansion available, that people are hungry for the information and for the platforms? What is that little bit of secret sauce that is keeping you glued to Africa?
Absolutely. So we start with regulation, right? So in South Africa, you have a strong regulatory framework with a clear licensing structure. And so ATFX is one of, I believe, just 4 ODP license holders in the country. And that for us is first and foremost. So I think when you think about it, you have South Africa and then you have a wider Africa question. So of course, population is one of the metrics that we're looking at. But number 2, we're looking at, for example, increasing disposable income. We're looking at internet adoption. And 3, we're looking at participation in capital markets. So if all these tick boxes, a young population, a growing population, disposable income, internet adoption, and a desire to participate in the capital markets, if you can tick all those boxes, then we have a product that we believe is there to help them grow financially. And Joe made this distinction, right? We are a financial services provider, right? Of course, we have customers who may have short-term trading patterns, whatever that may be, but we want to focus on the long term, and that's why we invest so heavily in education. But to answer your question, there are multiple metrics that we look at, from the population, internet adoption, increasing disposable income, and then capital market participation. These 4 or 5 metrics, if we see promising signs in that means it's ripe for investment for us.
You've touched on Africa, South Africa as a key market for your expansion. What part does it play? What role does it play in terms of the ATFX story?
Africa is a huge potential region, and but still developing. Investment or financial knowledge is still like a bit lag behind compared to in Europe or in the States or in Hong Kong, Singapore, etc., Australia. That's why in the market here, still like you've got different quality of brokers, license, SCP or FSP or OTP. That's why we need to make sure they are traded with a very well-regulated broker. They don't need to worry about the fund safety, which happened quite a lot in the history in this region. And this is the most important thing. I want them to keep their money in South Africa, in the South Africa regulated segregated bank account, instead of like sending money to overseas offshore license. This is I think the fund safety is the key, one of the key. And also like how to differentiate us besides the advanced technology and comprehensive education. I want to emphasize is the well-trained professionals that we have in our company. That I'm not fighting for the lowest price or cheapest broker, but as an investment, it's a serious thing. Invest 50 grand, 100 grand. You don't want to sacrifice $1 or $2 with the quality. So we are here to provide top quality service, financial knowledge, financial product for them to have a successful journey in their investment as long-term sustainable investment. That's what we want to bring to our clients in Africa.
The voices of Joe Lee, chairman of ATFX, as well as Siju Daniel, chief commercial officer at ATFX. I also caught up with Nick Sproule, managing director of Trade Nation, and I kicked off our chat by asking him about the rise of trading social media influencers, also known as finfluencers.
So I think social media influencers have a very important role to play. Unfortunately, some of it is negative, and we've seen that with people driving flashy cars or flashing bundles of cash, drinking champagne at all hours in nightclubs. And, that's not the reality of most traders out there. It's not an easy space to be involved in, and it's difficult to make money. And I think where it's had a positive effect is it's provided a lot of education to customers. So there are guys out there who have great podcasts, provide great educational content that's free of charge. And I think I'd like to see more of that content out there in the marketplace and less of the flashy cars and Verve Clicquot being drunk at all hours of the night.
With all the geopolitical events that are happening around the world, it's obviously affecting markets, and with it also affecting people who are trading those markets. How do you see that impacting those traders, and obviously also the commodities that they trade?
Yeah, it's been a fascinating couple of months, years. I mean, we've got the geopolitical tensions with various wars that have impacted, obviously, Israel, Ukraine, and those do have a massive impact. I think governments have also got a big impact in terms of the Fed. A lot of people have priced in interest rate cuts was in March, now it's pushed out to September, and we're probably looking at a situation where we don't get any interest rates cut in the US. So that'll affect the dollar price, it affects the commodity prices. We've seen gold on a massive bull run, perhaps in expectation of those rate cuts and the political uncertainty. But it's been a very interesting time, and generally our traders tend to be more interested when there's volatility and something happening in the market. If it was boring, we wouldn't see much activity from our customers.
Some insights there from Nick Sproule, managing director of Trade Nation at the Sandton Times Hour corner at the 2024 Finance Magnates Africa Summit in Sandton. That's about all we have time for this week on the Sandton Times Hour. And also, don't forget, available as a podcast straight after the show on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Podcast Party, and so many more leading digital audio platforms. If you want to get in touch, you can email editor@sandtontimes.co.za or hop onto social media and follow the Sandton Times at Sandton Times. The same, uniform across all the platforms. And then also on the website, www.sandtontimes.co.za, some of the latest stories and news there, if you want to catch up on that. Also, feel free to send through your questions and comments during the week. And of course, thank you to all our guests for this week and the teamwork that makes this all happen and possible. Sure, I think my voice has made it through the hour, Vincenzo. And all I'm left to say is that may we have calm heads prevail. May we have peace. May we make the right decisions for our future in South Africa. And of course, to you listening, stay safe and thanks for listening. And we're going to do it all again next week.
That's it for this week. Thanks for listening to the Sandton Times Hour. And if you enjoyed it, be sure to share it.